So when I do the bicep, do you have, is your machine with you?
I don't have my
Okay.
at
I'm
home.
looking at your machine, and your machine looks like it's just like my machine, except mine has the butt vacuum cupping feature, and yours doesn't. But other than that, they look like they're the same. Where did you get
Exactly.
your machine?
My Chway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine's the JS 2000 or whatever. I think yours they classify it as the 3000 because it
Okay.
has the vacuum attachment with it.
All right. Did your machine come with the red and black probes on it?
No, they're the same, which I hate.
Yeah, mine didn't mine like that too, but I just kind of created my own, which is okay.
So how did you create your
Oh,
own
I
to
just
make
did
them
a
really?
red and black, so I'll know like how I'm laying. I'll just know when I'm working with pairs that this is a pair, that's a pair.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just use some electric tape, and also it helps because when you're working, I noticed that these pads can slip really easy, so it just kind of helps to reinforce them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I was a little disappointed in that as well.
Yeah, I was like, how are you supposed to know? Like, typically one side is positive, one side is negative. If they're marked the same, how the hell are you supposed to know? And the cord is the same on both, so you couldn't even be like, okay, the cord that has a stripe on it is one, and you know.
So obviously it's not working with like a negative positive energy, or it's just they're just the energy of each pad off of itself. So with this particular machine, I just make sure to lay my pads parallel to each other because they would work off of each other, versus if you have the machine with the red and the black and you know your positive and negatives, you can lay them, that way.
Right.
So I'm gonna lay on her bicep and her tricep. So the main thing with turning on an EMF machine, I tell you people, turn it on very slowly, because if you try to kick it on full strength, you will jolt the client. So with this machine, it actually works pretty good with the manufacturer settings.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started. I don't touch anything, just so that it's on.
Okay.
So now that it's on, I will turn it up slowly till now I'm at 2. So then I'm asking her. Yeah. And so you can see she's just at the manufacturer settings, and you can already see her contracting.
Oh, yep. I saw the.
So she's contracting already. So for this client, she's already said she feels a lot. So I would probably give her about 10 minutes on this setting, and then I would kick her up to 3. And I would probably let that be the duration of this visit for that, you know what I'm saying, for that, for that arm. Now, if you want to see it bigger, so you have your pulse width. If you want to see more action, it jumping up and down more, then that's when you would turn up the pulse width.
Okay.
If you want more strength going into it, so it's giving them more of a jolt, then that's when you're going to turn your frequency. And the frequency can go almost all the way up to 300. And then if you want more time, like if you want it to send the signal faster, then you would go pulse time. And if you want more of a relax in between it, then you would do pause time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so that's that. So we're gonna turn off bicep. And never touch them, because I've done that before. Touch it while it's on, you will jolt yourself. Trying to adjust it before it just went a little bit, trying to answer. So that's our arm placement. So then, now when I do stomach placement, I like to do 2 cords. I've seen in some places where they only do 1, but I like it really to make sure that my stuff doesn't fall.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, now are you using clear ultrasound gel?
Yes.
Okay, because I saw some girls in some of the Facebook groups saying they weren't using anything. And I was like, oh no, you need some type of a conductor. So,
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to do the same thing since we just have our pairs. So I'm going to do the pairs parallel on the abdomen.
Okay.
We do A. Oh, and this is another tip that will help you. Get your Sharpie marker, or if you want to buy like some cutesy stickers, but mark your pads to go with your letters. So that way, when they're on the machine, you'll know which one to turn on and off.
Gotcha.
You know? Okay. So these cords can be all over the place. Everything looks alike. So I know now if she said this one wasn't working right, you know, like say it came unplugged or something, it's on her body and she's not feeling anything, then I know because I marked it as B versus it being a guessing game once it's all over the body.
Right.
And see, I just usually put mine on and then I just rub them together. So it's covered the whole surface. So she's laid for abs, and then I'm the kind of person if it's visible, I do everything. So I'm gonna throw her a couple of pads on the obliques.
Yep.
So are you currently doing butt lifts?
No. So I'm in Vermont. We're like the whitest state in the union. And so I'm not going to say that it wouldn't be popular, but I feel like it's not going to be as popular.
I think that you could set yourself apart knowing, because I know a lot of white people that want booties. I have girls in Canada that's doing it, Australia, everywhere.
I imagine eventually I'll probably get into it. I feel like right now I'm just trying to get really good at this part of it, like just body sculpting in general, outside of like, the medical spas that have like Cool Sculpt or like, the crazy expensive machines that cost a lot to get treatments from. There isn't really anybody doing this. So
how did you get into it?
I thought it would be a good idea. I mean, certainly I had clients to be like, oh, like I'm having a hard time to, lose the rest of this weight or lose weight in general. And I was just like, I felt like it would be a good thing to add to
you're currently an esthetician?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So how did you find training? Where did you go?
One of the aesthetics companies that I'm familiar with had a training, so I went there, went down to Florida a couple years ago, did that. It was okay. I feel like because I didn't know a lot about it, I certainly couldn't ask a lot of questions. So I just kind of like was like, okay, I took the training, whatever, it's great. And I didn't really do a whole lot with it, I feel like.
Okay.
And then I ended up taking another training last summer online, and since then I've been able to find like a lot more groups to join on Facebook, and that's really been helpful as well.
Yeah, the groups are awesome. Okay, so she is ready to rumble. She's laid with 6 pads for the abdominal and 4 pads on each side for the oblique.
Okay.
And once again, we're going to start her softly. How are you?
Really good.
Okay. This obviously, because it's the stomach, she'll probably be able to take a lot more energy, and you can see her contracting.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Like I'm doing sit-ups.
And it's funny because you got to be careful. Like if you have a really petite person, I mean, it can be so strong that it's like almost about to push them off the table. I've seen them go. So you just want to slowly bring your energy up. And of course, as they do the treatments, you're going to raise the frequency. You're going to, change the pulse width. But you want to start them out slowly and bring them up.
Okay.
But you want to make sure, as long as you see some movement and they feel okay and they feel comfortable. So you can see she's getting a lot of movement there.
So I'm going to ask you, like before when we were doing the arm, just because I want to write this down. Okay. You were talking about the pulse width, the frequency, and the time width. Can you sort of repeat all that?
Okay, so I was explaining the machine. So
yes.
So we have our frequency. That's going to be your energy. So we have first we have our grids. So the first thing that I do, there are A, B's, and C's. I leave that, turn the machine on and leave that on. I turn that on to about 2, 3 until I get a reaction out of the client. Okay. If I get no reaction from them and they're at 5, then now that means they're used to it. Now I'll start to turn the frequency up. The frequency at manufacturer setting is about 50. And then I'll go up 5 frequency increments, like 55, 60, till I get a reaction out of them. So I'm going to put them on as much strength as they can handle. The width is going to be like how much you want to see it jump. So if you want to see it jump more, you're going to turn the width up. So like how it's, making them go up and down. Mm-hmm. If you turn that up, then you'll get more visual reaction of their movement. You understand? Okay. So the higher you have that up, then the pause will be when it stops. So it's going to be going up and then when it stops. So if you want those reactions bigger, that's what pulse width, pulse time, and pause time is going to be. Okay. To make those movements bigger. Okay. So that's all it is. Typically, like I said, you don't usually have to mess with those ones as much. It's going to be your first set, your A, B, and C settings from 1 to 5, and then your frequency, how much higher you want that. Okay. Yeah, those are usually the only things that you need to change. All right. And that's just always going to be to your client's comfortability.
So you're pretty much always leaving the pulse and the pause time on what the machine manually sets at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like if your client's doing many sessions, then maybe you want to start messing with that. But it's really going to be the frequency because it's just about how much strength that you're putting into their body. You can see just off of this, she's already got a lot of movement. So.
Right.
And the main thing with laying them, you just want to kind of make sure they stay flat to the body as much as possible. Okay, so that is our stomach placement. Okay. just do it how I put them on. So backwards. So I'm taking them off backwards from the alphabet so that my chords don't get all mixed up. So G was my last one I put on, so I'm going. So that's the good thing about having a mark. So I can go backwards. So I'm going from G to F. So that way all these chords, because I don't know, do you use traditional laser chords? The traditional laser paddles that come with your cavitation machine?
No, I have a belt.
Yeah, but if you ever had those, oh my goodness, those cords used to drive me crazy. And then I got rid of the cords and got the belt, and then I got this machine, and I'm like, oh no, I'm back at square one. So once you understand how to lay it, it all kind of becomes this, becomes kind of monotonous after that. Because it's all the same, just understanding where the muscle is in the body. So
Exactly.
So basically, like if we're doing a tight leg, if we're doing a thigh, same deal. I would do exactly like I did with the I would do exactly like I did with the stomach and do 2 layers to make sure that I'm covering the whole thigh area. And then of course you just want to make the straps to where they fit the body as well as possible. That is like a work of art in itself. These straps are a pain. Finding the right combination of the straps to fit. Okay, there we go. That one's gonna be a little tight. Keep your leg relaxed. And I tell the client it's very important to stay relaxed because once you lay all of this stuff, they start moving and stuff. They'll get to moving stuff that you don't want moving. I'm just finding. Okay, there we go. So like I said, I would do the thigh in 2 layers. And what I would do with the thigh is probably, because it's a wider area, I would lay them side by side, getting to that hamstring, quadricep muscles, whichever muscle I'm trying to reach. And if there's not enough space, I would go a little higher up on her, but I don't have straps that are going to fit better. But the last one, what I would do, because you don't have space for 4, so I would just go up with 1 and down with 1.
Okay.
And then that's a full thigh placement.
Perfect.
Can you see?
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay. So that's our thigh placement. Okay. So now we're going to turn over and we're going to do. In my studio, our focus is usually just butts and stomachs. So if you want to do a back, then you're just gonna look at that chart where the muscles is, and then you can lay for the back. But I'm gonna show you a placement for the behind.
Okay.
Is this helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually a little excited about the butt part.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. Come on. Actually, let me bring this back down. It'll be a little longer. So I trained in like Colombian doctors on these techniques, and they're a lot of them getting away from the vacuum, and they're just doing the EMS now, and that mesotherapy that I talked to you about earlier to build the butt faster.
Now, what brand or company do you get like the mesotherapy serum?
Our meso, and I actually retail it too on my website.
Okay.
But it's our meso brand has the meso muscle. The formulas that are popular for the butt are the gluteal you may have heard of through the groups, and then the meso muscle. So you want to make sure like it's right in the center of the butt. And so you think about the anatomy of the butt. We have our gluteus maximus, which goes along here. We have our medius, which is kind of just right under the back. And then we have our minus, which is just on the side of the hip. We're always going to focus our attention on the maximus. So. Yeah, this model, she's been with me for about, what, 6 months? When she came, she didn't have no booty. She got a booty now. I said we decrease the belly and increase the booty. This is really great for, like everybody's wanting a bigger butt, but a lot of people are afraid of surgery. So if you can offer them something that could potentially give them the results they want. And I'm telling you, I'm like, your non-invasive butt lift is not going to be a replacement for a BBL, but you can definitely get some new shape, develop some muscle, and enhance your curves without having to go under the knife.
Right.
But the main thing, even with cavitation, I find a lot of people are a little unrealistic about their expectations. They're thinking like, do you get calls where they're like, they think it's one session and they're going to be skinny?
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta let them know, like, it is a series of treatments.
And I'm like, if that was the case, it would cost a lot more freaking money.
Right. I tell them right now, I said, if that was the case, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I'd be over in Beverly Hills. Right. If I can get you snatched in one session, like right. Even surgery can't do that because you still got to heal. So we got about 8 tabs out for her butt. Okay, on this side, I think I will move this over a little bit. I want to make sure it's right on the muscle and not on area that's not going to get stimulated. Okay, she's looking pretty good. Can you see that?
Yes. So is it 3 or 4 on each butt cheek?
So she's got 6. So I took one and did it kind of like how I did the thigh. I did parallel, and then I took one and just separated it. So
Yep,
she has
gotcha.
6.
Got it. So if you were going to do this out of curiosity, excuse me, on a guy that has like, I'll call it that spare tire. He's not really big, but he's just kind of like, it's not a lot belly. He had like, so I'm thinking actually of a specific client that I have. It's more, I would say like the love handles, but it goes a little bit around onto the back. Would you go right around that whole section?
So you said his waistline to his back? Yeah, if I can see it while it's laying there, I would, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as I tell people because people are like, well, what if I turn? I'm like, no, if I have to turn you over, it is another treatment area. If I can see it while I'm laying it, then I'll treat it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, you can see her contracting.
Mm-hmm.
So she is doing her squats. So that is pretty much, so this is a butt lift. So I was gonna say, you really can set yourself apart as a brand, pairing it with that mesotherapy to really enhance the butt lift. For those clients too, since you have that
I'm losing volume.
oh, sorry. You can really enhance it by pairing your mesotherapy with it. So you have that nice electroporation probe, but I want you to send me a picture of it because I will actually want a bigger one myself. So I would love to see it. But for that client, you could also do like mesolipo on him. So you could be electronically injecting the mesolipo that will help reduce that fat while you're building the muscle. Or, you could alternate like on Monday, he's getting that fat loss and cavitation. On Thursday, 3 days later, he's muscle building. So if that's something they want to commit to, they're willing to pay for it. It is really enhancement service for you and for them to get the fat and build the muscle. And it's a way for you to set yourself apart as a technician and adding those advanced techniques.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's pretty much.
I'll send you that picture tomorrow. I'm at home tonight, so
Okay.
it's at work.
Okay, and then I'll see you a little bit later in our next class.
Exactly.
If you have any questions about this, I feel like when we went over the major parts of the body, so you should be able to understand it. But a session is typically about 30 minutes. You can up it to about 45 minutes.
And when you're saying session, that's the time that the pads are on the person, not all the extra time. How long would you say, like, to get them ready and all of that, like,
Well, they got to come in and they got to go to the bathroom, drink some water, fill out your consent form. So it would be an hour.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think it's usually about 15 minutes for people to kind of wrap themselves up and you close the service. And if you add that mesolipo, the electroporation shouldn't take more than 15 minutes, especially if you have a big handle.
Right.
And if you're ever interested, I do a mesotherapy class where I go detailed product knowledge about all the things that you can do with electroporation.
I saw that you had that, but I was like, I think I'm going to wait. I was like, I knew I was doing this. And then I signed up for the consultation one and I'm like, okay, let's just wait till like next month. Like, let's not go crazy all in 1 month. Let's absorb some of what we just learned.
I repeat the classes. So yeah, you're good. So with the consultations class, it'll be kind of great because I think I'm introducing some different information than what you're getting from a lot of sources. Once again, this comes from me studying with the Colombian doctors, but we're talking about the different body types because as you deal with different bodies, some people respond to treatments better than others. So you'll be able to answer those questions. People want to know. I mean, I get the calls. I'm sure you get them over the phone. How many treatments is it going to take?
I know. I love that. Yes, I do. And I'm like, I don't even know what you look like. How the heck do I know? I don't know I don't know how much you weigh. I don't know how much you want to weigh or, like what your goal is. It's not like, 3 is the magic number for every single person or whatever. It's just like, not sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll tell you, a consultation, I always tell people at least commit to 6 weekly at least commit to 6 weekly sessions. That's what I usually try to get to people to. And then I don't know if you've experienced this, but as you doing body contouring, well, you come from a world of esthetician, so you probably have your regulars that come monthly or every other month. But what I found in body contouring is that people come for their 6 sessions and then they're gone.
Right.
So we want to encourage them to see this as any kind of maintenance, that like your massage, your hair, your anything. So you need, once you get your results, you need to come once a month. So we want to talk about getting them on payment plans, getting them on membership plans, doing things to keep our clients there. And like you're gonna get older, it's better to keep it looking nice. Don't wait till it doesn't look nice, then try to fix it.
Right.
So that's kind of things we'll be talking about in the next class. So
Awesome.
yay. So that is EMS, and that is a butt lift. All right. So I'm gonna also, I probably won't do it tonight, but I have like pictures like this. So I'll send you some pictures that have real placement. It's not any YouTube stuff. So you'll be able to have something to reference to.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Molly. So I will see you in about an hour.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.